with it being Double Experience Weekend this weekend on Runescape, I did decide that it now would probably be a good time to make a video for you guys explaining on sort of goals that you could set yourselves and just kind of like a bit of a guide on what you should be trying to accomplish this weekend. So as a max player, I have had plenty of Double Experience Weekends in my time, and I have learned from past mistakes of wasting time and not gaining the stuff that I probably should be. Pretty much most of the do's and don'ts of Double Experience Weekend and what you as a player will probably want to put first and prioritize. So I am going to discuss things that I think you should be prioritizing and going over different things that each person, depending on your playstyle, should be doing. So that's what this video is going to be about. Hopefully it does help you out. So Double Experience Weekend this time isn't just like every other Double Experience Weekend. The way that it used to work, you would get 3 days of Double Experience, but when you logged off, then you were basically missing out on time. This forced people to stay logged in for the whole weekend without sleeping or taking time off work, or you were just missing out on experience. And people used to panic that they couldn't spend enough time and get as far as they could in it, forcing people to stay on for an unhealthy amount of times. So Jagex have adjusted it this time, and what they are doing is giving you 36 hours of double experience, but it's spread over 10 days. So what this is going to allow you to do is log off to go and have something to eat, or log off to get some sleep, so that you're not sat there on unhealthy amounts of time playing RuneScape, grinding out your rune crafting experience. This is absolutely a brilliant idea, just because it just means that people who can only play casually a few hours here and there aren't going to miss out on too much on Double Experience Weekend, as they can spread that across the 10 days. And also, you guys that sit up for 2 days straight playing when it is Double XP, you can sleep, stop stressing out, go to bed, and just rest. So with RuneScape Mobile bringing in quite a lot of new players, I figured we're going to have to talk about this in the perspective of quite a lot of new players probably. So if you are a new player, then you are going to be able to take advantage of this, and it is going to help you out a hell of a lot, because what your goals are probably going to want to be doing is we're getting your account into a well-rounded position. Now the reason I say that and don't just grind out one skill is because if you get a well-rounded account, then you're going to unlock so much more content for the game, unlocking requirements for quests that you're going to need to do, and getting access to different weapons and armor, and just being able to access different areas. This is going to benefit you more than just getting, say, a 99 in woodcutting or farming or anything like that. What I would recommend you do is just focus on all your skills that are probably below level 50 or level 60 and level them up. Once you've got all these leveled up and rounded off, it's going to make doing quests a hell of a lot easier. And the reason being is, if you think about doing something like Templates and Esteem, where you get the cursors for your prayer, it's going to be so much beneficial to your account, but you don't want to sit there and grind out loads of skills when it's not Double Experience Weekend. You're going to burn yourself out quickly, and none of us want you to leave the game, obviously. So doing this on Double Experience Weekend, looking at your long-term goals and getting a well-rounded account for that is going to benefit you guys a hell of a lot. So don't sit there and get 99 cooking. You're not going to get anything out of it other than a fancy cape. Do please focus on rounding off your account. You'll feel a lot better for doing it. And also, in RuneScape 3, you don't really need to just focus on one combat style either. So if you want to just get all of your combat skills up, then that will definitely benefit you as well, as RuneScape 3 bossing later on is definitely going to need you to use a lot of different combat styles. Now, for my last Double Experience Weekend video that I have actually put up, it's pretty much going to match that on what I suggest you guys do for skilling. If you haven't watched that, which probably a lot of you haven't, seeing as more people are following me now than then, basically what I was saying to you guys is think about what sort of playstyle you have in the game, and then use Double Experience to your advantage on that. So if you are a player that can spend a lot of time in game and you aren't a casual player, say for example myself, I have a son, I don't get to play hours and hours and hours every single day. So what I would recommend doing in that situation is doing skills that are going to take a long time to level up. For example, rune crafting at the Abyss takes absolutely ages, but if you do it on Double Experience Weekend, think about how many hours you are saving. So if you were going to spend 50 hours doing rune crafting to get to a certain goal, then on Double Experience Weekend, if you get that, then technically you've saved yourself 25 hours in real life where you've not had to sit down and do that, because you can complete those 50 hours at twice the rate and bring it to 25. So what I would recommend doing is definitely focus on something that is going to save you a lot of time if you're the sort of person that can't spend a lot of time in game. However, if you are also a person that has a lot of gold in the game, then what I would recommend you do is use Double Experience Weekend for the skills that are going to take you a long time to do and that money can't buy you. For example, like I said, runecrafting at the Abyss, you can't buy extra experience in it. You can't buy it as quick as you can, like with Herblore. For example, a lot of you guys are probably going to think, oh yeah, I'm going to get Herblore out of the way because I've got all this money. But if you think about it, if you're working towards getting a max cape and you have plenty of money, then it's probably going to benefit you more to do the really, really slow skills like thieving or rune crafting or anything along those sort of lines that take a long time and time investment to do so, because you can actually spend quite a lot of money on Herblore and get really good experience rates anyway. So if time is your issue, then I would highly recommend using Double Experience to save you as much time as possible. However, if you are on the other side of that table and you have plenty of time but you struggle to make money in game, then what you are going to want to do is probably do any buyables that you can. Like I said, if you are a low level player, then rounding off your account is more important. But if you are a player that is looking to get into bossing, if you've already got a well-rounded account anyway, then probably look at what's going to benefit you, which is going to be things like Herblore for overloads or getting your combat stats up. Things like that. Summoning is a really good one to do, especially on Double Experience Weekend. It's going to save you a lot of time collecting charms, and it's going to save you a lot of money on making the pouches. So, like I say, if you've got plenty of time but not plenty of money, and you are trying to get towards something like a PVM account, then you're definitely going to want to do your buyables and save as much money as you can. And this way, you're sort of balancing out what you can do in game because you've got plenty of time, but not as much money, so you're saving on your money. However, if you have plenty of money, but not as much time, then I would recommend saving yourself some time. Now, for you guys that aren't going for max, which I think at this point in this game, most people are just going to go for max, but for you guys that I know there will be that's not bothered about going for max whatsoever, then pick a goal in the game that you want to be playing for. Obviously, you're playing for some reason, so find out what that is, whether it's you like to just go and do bossing with your friends, or whether you like to do skilling and just see how much money you can make, or whether you just like to go to the duel arena and throw any money away that you get. Then figure out what's going to benefit you on this Double Experience Weekend and just go for that specifically. There's no point in you guys bothering about doing anything that's going to get you to max sooner or later if you have no intention to do that whatsoever. If you think that at some point you might want to max, then I would highly recommend just taking the dive and doing whatever's going to benefit you in the long run, because if you decide next week that you want to go after Double Experience Weekend has ended for max, then you are going to regret not doing that on certain skills. So as for you guys that aren't too sure, make sure you do whatever's going to benefit you, your account best towards max. But if you know for 100% certain that that's not what you want to do, then, for example, if you are a bossing person, then get your overloads, get your yak and your nihils and all that sort of good stuff. And then other than that, you're basically probably good to go. Just focus on anything that you need to make your account more efficient in what you're doing, and just enjoy yourself. You don't have to panic too much. You haven't got too big of a massive goal ahead of you, and just enjoy it. But, like I say, for you guys that do want to go for max, make sure you do that during this Double Experience Weekend, because later on, this is what I used to say. I used to say, I'm not going to max, but eventually, friends convinced me that I should. Turns out that getting the max portal for bossing is just the best thing you can do. So eventually you might change your mind. So just keep that in mind. And if you think that you could, then I would highly recommend just getting your skills done that are going to take you ages and that you're going to hate doing, so that you don't get burnt out when you come to doing them. Now, the biggest tip that I'm going to give you guys is, remember, this weekend is not all in one go. It is spread out across 10 days. So just get some sleep, make sure you're rested, and don't make yourselves feel like shit. Obviously, I mean, if you guys are going to miss the whole nostalgia of staying up for 72 hours straight and just grinding out your experience weekends, then by all means, go for it. Especially you streamers, I suppose that's something that you guys might enjoy doing. But if it's just for a normal player, don't panic about it. Remember, this experience is going to be spread across. So get some sleep, get some rest. Because if you're tired, you're not as efficient. If you are rested, then your mind's going to be working. You're going to be more efficient and you're going to use it a lot better. You're going to make good decisions. Whereas if you're tired, there's been so many times that I have come on knackered and just stood there at the bank for 20 minutes and gone, shit, goodbye 20 minutes of double experience weekend. Or I've made a bad mistake and leveled up something that was pointless to do, wasted ages because I thought it might be easier and more chilled out. So just make sure you sleep if you need that sleep, make sure you're rested, and you'll be much more efficient. It does start on the 22nd of November, so if you guys have any questions before then, I know it's only going to be 2 days or so, but if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments. I will answer them pretty much straight away every time, unless I'm sleeping. But if I am awake, I will usually answer you pretty quickly, so if you do have any questions, just ask away. And I do hope this video has helped you guys out. That is pretty much going to be all I want to talk about for Double XP. It's more or less self-explanatory. Do what's going to benefit your account the most, but like I said, new players, get yourself a well-rounded account, going to benefit you so much. Players that aren't bothered about going to max, then find out what you are going to be doing and just benefit your account in that way. If you are low on time, then make sure you use double experience weekend on the long skills that is going to take you a lot of time. If you are low on gold, then do your Bibles as much as you can, save yourself that gold and make sure that you can get as far as you can without doing that, because double experience weekend pretty much halves the amount of gold you need for any sort of skill, obviously. And if you are okay on gold but low on time, then again, I would probably ignore doing your Bibles for now, as you are going to be able to get good experience rates from doing that anyway. But I would highly recommend that you focus on slower skills, skills that are going to burn you out. If you're going to get burnt out in this game by doing a grindy skill, then do it on double XP, get out of the way twice as quick, and you'll feel a lot better for doing it. So there's not much more I wanted to say about double experience weekend, so I do hope this video has helped you out. As always, if you did enjoy it and if it has helped you, then make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.